Hi. So how do you use note cards during your presentation? I'm Shola and I'm a speaker coach and a speaker. And I think note cards are a brilliant thing to use when you're making presentations because they are small enough. If you've got a 3x5 inch note card, it's about this size. And they're small enough that they are fairly unobtrusive. They don't get in the way, but equally they're big enough that you can write something substantial on them and use them as prompts if you need them. Some people are a little bit anti using note cards because they feel that it's cheating and they'd much rather memorize the entire presentation. But I tend to feel that I feel more confident of a presenter who's got note cards in their hand than one that hasn't, because I think if someone's taken the effort to write some bits and pieces for themselves on note cards, they're much more likely to deliver the full value of their presentation. Whereas someone who hasn't made any notes, maybe they're going to forget a chunk of content or they'll get a few facts and figures wrong. So that's why I'm a big advocate of using note cards when I'm an audience member. But as a speaker coach, I also think that they can be incredibly helpful too, because they allow you to feel a bit more relaxed. So if you don't have any sort of prompts or any kind of notes with you, you can often feel a little bit uncertain, lacking in confidence, more worried about, am I going to do a good job? Or more worried about whether you're going to forget, okay, than just about doing a great job for the audience. And you don't want to be worried about, am I going to forget? Am I going to blank out? You want to have some way to take care of that, just in case, you do, something might happen. Maybe someone drops something or a phone rings and it just puts you off. You want to know that whatever happens in any situation, you are ready. And by having some note cards in your hand or on a table or in a pocket, it just gives you that extra bit of confidence. So how should you use your note cards? One thing I don't advise doing is writing in tiny letters on your note card and just filling the whole thing up with just lots of really tiny text. Because if you do that, sometimes it's just hard to read in a situation where you're, maybe a bit panicked or a bit anxious, and you take out this note card and there's lots of tiny, tiny writing. You might have to actually bring it up here to read the writing, and you don't want to have to do that. So you want to have several note cards, and you may even have perhaps one note card per, if you're using slides, one note card per slide with your prompts there. Or you may, if you're not using slides, you may just have, maybe 10, 15 note cards, and you glance at one and you see nice big writing there, what you need to see. Maybe you've got facts and figures there, perhaps you've got data. So you glance at that, take what you need from it, and then carry on speaking. And then when it's time for the next note card, you just surreptitiously, or just a way that's not very obtrusive, you just put that top card to the back and then you take the next one. And all that can be done in a very, in a way that's not disruptive at all to your audience, so that they barely even notice that you're looking at cards. And I remember when I did my TEDx talk, I was all panicked about having to memorize every word. And then there was somebody there who had note cards, and she did really well, very relaxed, looked at her note cards. You barely even noticed that she was using them. Other things that you can do with note cards, as I say, remember to write nice and big so that you don't have to pull them right up to your face to read them. You can keep them at, sort of hip or kind of thigh level when you're looking at the note cards. Another thing that you can do is sometimes I will use highlighter colors on my note cards. So, for example, if I've got some data or if I've got some numbers, I might use perhaps a yellow or a blue highlight on the numbers, so that I know if I need to use the card, my eye is instantly pulled to that yellow where the numbers are right there. So I don't have to kind of glance around on the card and, use up valuable seconds looking around for the right information on my note card. So you can do that as well. Or you can write so big that you literally just have, 10% of cat lovers prefer, you might have just that one fact written really big on your note cards and have plenty of note cards to get you through the presentation. But if you are using note cards, I recommend you also rehearse with them. So don't rehearse perhaps with, sheets of paper, and then last minute you just put everything onto the note card, because you won't be familiar with where that information is on the note cards when you're speaking. So you want real familiarity with that content on the cards, with the act of taking one card, putting it to the back, and so on and so forth, so that it's just a natural part of your presentation. It's not, oh, I've got the cards now. Oh, how am I going to deal with these, right? You've already rehearsed it many a time. You feel super comfortable. Hope that helps. Note cards are a fantastic aid if you like to have something just to kind of jog your memory or to help you through your presentation. So definitely I recommend going to your local stationery store or wherever you get your note cards from and buying a packet of 3 by 5 inch note cards. Take care. Bye.